you know? Okay, so, all right, roll cameras then.
Rolling.
Rolling.
Yeah, rolling. Rolling.
Action.
All right, say action and then clap.
Action.
All right, man, hey, welcome to Binge Watch. I mean, we've been waiting forever for this show to take place. You know, I've seen a lot of like shows on YouTube where people are kind of like talking about TV and talking about clips and talking about movies, but what I feel that we're in the binge generation right now, so everything's all about Netflix, and you know, we wanted to have a show that can help you, the viewer, know what show should I be watching. So this week we're going to be talking about a series review of Stranger Things. If you're not on it, you need to be on this show, because this show is fantastic. But right here with me, I got Jamie Thompson over here, and then I got Charles Rogan over here, and did you guys try to say something, Charles?
I'll just say it.
Yeah, all right. So we up, and I'm Chase. So here we are talking about Stranger Things. So guys, I mean, let's start at the beginning. Like, what is like your overall impression of the series of Stranger Things, Jamie?
I just thought it was fantastic. Completely blew me away. I think just the whole package of it, the cinematography, the music direction, you know, and just sort of, I just feel it's like a big love letter to all the classic 80s sci-fi films. You know, a lot of Spielberg, John Carpenter, Stephen King, everything is just encapsulated in this one thing, but it doesn't feel plagiarized. It feels like it's its own product, and the Duffer Brothers have created something that is just going to be talked about for years to come.
Definitely. I mean, you're totally on it, and as a young man to be able to respect the 70s like that, you're right on point. What about you, Charles?
Well, I agree. I mean, I'm from that era. I'm from the era that he's going for, and I think what he did was he acknowledged the era, but he changed it slightly, so that, as you say, although you were watching something and I could say, oh, I can see this, at the end of every episode there was almost, hold on a minute, I don't know what's going on here, and so I was waiting for the next episode, which is why when you watch it, binge watch it, you don't have to wait. When I was a kid, I was waiting for the next episode of Star Wars or next episode of whatever. You can just, you watch it, I don't know what's going on, so you put the next episode on, and that was the good thing, is that at the end of every episode, I was like, I was lost. I didn't know where he was going. I was in a familiar territory, but I didn't know what was going on, sort of thing. And that's why I think binge watching is really good, is because you can get your fix almost straight away. Next episode, and you, oh my, next episode. And then before you know it.
I mean, you know, I think that we're in that binge generation where shows that are serialized are, you know, they're prepared for that kind of activity of binging, because what happens is that Stranger Things is chapters. It's like a book. It's like reading a really good novel, you know, especially a really good Stephen King novel. And all you want to do is find out what happens next. And I mean, the love letter to like the 70s and the films, I mean, was just all amazing. I mean, we could, you know, do another show on just the Easter eggs alone as to all of the various different moments, you know. But I mean, what I would like to say is like, what I just really loved about this was the kids, you know. I mean, for me, coming from that generation, it was like a return to the Goonies, you know. I mean, kids on BMXs, you know, that whole like adventure activity. You know, especially having this on myself, it's like, you know, that's when you leave your house and you go out for an adventure, and that's what this was. I mean, especially that night when they're going out looking for their best friend, you know, like Will disappears. The whole deal is it's like in the rain and they're on bikes, and, you know, they won't stop. They're not like too cold or anything like that. And then they meet Eleven, which is our mystery girl, you know, was Millie Bobby Brown, played by Millie Bobby Brown. You know, she was fantastic. But let's look at the characters then. I mean, because for me, you know, you got two characters from the 80s. You got Winona Ryder, you got Matthew Modine. I mean, you know, I mean, you're like, what? I can't believe this.
Personally, anything Winona Ryder, because
really?
I mean, being a kid who grew up in the 90s, looking back at like Beetlejuice,
Mermaids.
Stranger Things, not Stranger Things, sorry, Edward Scissorhands. I mean, obviously Stranger Things is amazing, but Edward Scissorhands is a lot like, anything she.
But I mean, like, she really played that fragile, frantic, like the mother who is desperate to find her kid and nothing will stop her. I mean, her ingenuity was fantastic, like with the lights that she had to string up to communicate. I mean, who comes up with these ideas, you know what I mean? But it was just fantastic and clever, like that it didn't have to be explained either, you know. I mean, it was just something that she knew that he was communicating through the electricity, through lights, through the walls, and then she figured out for herself. Nobody had to tell her how to do it. She figured out for herself, I'm gonna find my son. And that's at the core of this story. It's like, you know, a mother trying to find her son, friends trying to find their friend. You know, I mean, that was amazing for me. I mean, what was the standout moment for you?
Well, I think the Matthew Modine character, he's like the sort of the man in black, sort of.
Yeah.
He's like the person who we don't know. We don't know what he is.
Yeah.
But he's always.
Or what the organization is that he works for.
Does he work for the government? Does he not work for the government? Is he experimenting? And there's always a government experiment that goes wrong, and this is a government experiment that goes wrong. And I think he actually looks.
Yeah.
He look. You can. I didn't recognise him at first.
Yeah, because he had the white hair.
Yeah, the white hair.
Classic 80s villain.
He reminds me of a lot of some of the characters from like the Invaders.
Oh yeah.
Because it was his dress. He had like a sort of, if you remember the Invaders, David Finton, the architect, there's a lot of people dressing in the smart suits, which Mad Men reference.
It's like the Adjustment Bureau kind of thing.
And that's it, and it was, I just like the look of him. When you see him, you thought, well, he's up to no good.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, he's still there now, so we don't know what he's up to.
No, don't go into spoiler territory. I don't know if he's still there. But I mean, like, being that we, so overall, I mean, like, any disappointments for you?
Not so many disappointments. I think there was a couple of storylines that could have been a bit truncated, a bit shortened. Like, I mean, the whole thing with Steve and
the boyfriend
triangle thing.
Actually, but it was different. You know, he wasn't a bonehead. You know,
in the end, he turned it around.
He turned it around. And I think they said that initially that wasn't how they were going to play it out, but the actor was so good that they turned it around.
I mean, not so much a favourite moment, but for me, favourite character has to be Sheriff Popper. I think his character arc going from the sort of the small town sheriff who doesn't, you know, one of his first lines is like, mornings with coffee and contemplation. Like, I don't care what's happening, I don't care if the kid's gone missing. It's my Monday morning, coffee.
But there's a backstory to the sheriff, isn't there?
Yeah. Without going into spoiler territory.
So there's the things that happen in the actual Stranger Things. He's got a history that we're not fully aware of, and it unfolds as the story goes on, and he becomes, in my opinion, he becomes more of a tragic character.
He definitely.
That's why he's one of my favourite characters, because he's so well written. He has that tragic backstory, but it fed you into like drips and drabs by the Duffer Brothers. He just sort of, we got like one episode, here's this thing about his daughter, and then you won't hear about it for a couple of episodes, and then there's something else, and it just slowly unravels, and he's one of the best characters.
Definitely. So, I mean, being that we have to kind of wind this down, I mean, like, we do know that it was only like 8 episodes, I believe, and like, it does end really well, without going into too much on the spoiler side of it. But do you think there'll be Stranger Things 2, and would it still follow these characters, or would it be something completely different, do you think?
It's a tough call, because personally, I don't know what I want from Stranger Things Volume 2. I don't know if I wanted to carry on following these characters or to be a completely different anthology, because it was such a moment and such a perfectly encapsulated series.
Cliffhanger, though.
I mean, the cliffhanger, but I still feel even that, you know, because you can look at things like Inception, where that ends on a cliffhanger, but there's no plans to make a second one. It doesn't have to be tied up in a neat bow. So I don't know what I want from it, and I don't know what they're going to do. I just want more of it. I just want more of what they create, basically.
Yeah. What about you, John?
Well, I think there will definitely be a sequel, and I think I would actually that there wasn't, because I think once you get into sequels, you're always diluting the content, and the cliffhanger that we're talking about